All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. So, like it for the, technical difficulties, man. Satan is trying to move around and not allow me to finish out this lesson, but we're gonna continue to move in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. So, as we was talking about, man, that confidence, not only that confidence, but not fear, not hiding your wisdom. All right, you want to be confident enough to bring out your wisdom and to speak out when it's time, when it's definitely needed, and when it's for the good and edification of your nation and for your people, man. It don't matter if it's your mother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your anybody, man. Right? You have to bring it out in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Right? But let's keep on moving before Satan try to get us up. Let's actually get um, Mark chapter 4 classic. All right, Mark chapter 4 of classic. All right, this is Mark chapter 4. So like you. This is Mark chapter 4 and verse number 14. It says this: the sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and take away the word that it was sown in their hearts. All right, so this is exactly what Satan is trying to do. He's trying to take away the word that, this exhortation which is needed in Israel. Satan is, of course, trying to take it away so that you don't get edified in the spirit, which, the Most High is always going to prevail. The Most High is always going to do his works. The Most High is always going to provide them services where, we trample over Satan and what he tries to do and overcome, right? We're going to continue to move in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Regarding this lesson, do not hide your wisdom, right? As we was talking about in the last, last video before I have to cut it off and restart this one, right? So we're going to continue to move with the words of the Lord, right? So let's go to 1 Corinthians, right? The second chapter. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse number 7, right? But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery. So what I'm getting ready to do is show you all some examples, right, of, mighty brothers, right, and even Yahushua as well, of speaking, right, wisdom to the people, being that example and being confident in what they do. As we know that with Paul, he went through a lot, man, right? He went through a lot with getting beaten, stoned, stabbed, everything, man, getting threatened, everything, right? Getting stuck in sea, everything, man, right? But he still had enough confidence to go out and speak wisdom. And it says in mystery, which means in secret. Why? Because this is for the children of Israel. All this exhortation, rebuke is for Israelites, man. As soon as we get our people on board, as soon as we get our people right, that's when we have to then teach the nations to go based off what we go by. They then need to keep our laws. They then need to speak like us. They need to walk like us. They need to be just like us in a way of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Right, but first and foremost, it starts with Israel. It starts with the house of Israel now, right? So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse number 7. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained from the before the world unto our glory. Right. So even that secret wisdom, right? Paul, right, and everybody that followed Paul went out to speak the wisdom of the Lord unto them. Right. They spoke even the secret wisdom, the hidden wisdom that wasn't supposed to be given up to everybody else, but they gave it out in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, because why? The Lord ordained it before the world. He ordained certain people to go out and to teach and to talk. He ordained a lot of you to speak to another person to either bring them into the truth, to exhort others to be in the truth, right? Or to bring somebody that was in the truth back into the truth, right? This is what the Lord does, man, right? So we see plainly throughout Paul that being an example of one of those that speak wisdom of God, man. We need to be the same way. Doesn't he say in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, be followers of me as I am a follower of Christ, roughly paraphrasing? So with him doing this, we must follow after him as well, right? We must follow after him as he follows Christ, right? So this is a righteous example. These are the examples that we need to go by. We need to not hide our wisdom. If you're in a whole nother camp, and there's some wisdom that you have, such as maybe some history or timelines, man. Go ahead and give that to a brother, man. Don't be like, oh, he ain't in my camp. I ain't really gonna tell him what, when this or that happened, or the timeline of this, right? No, man, give out that wisdom. It's edification, man. That's edification. You're not gonna hide wisdom from your child, even if your child is in a different camp. Why would you do that? And if you would hide wisdom from your child just because he's in a different camp, you need to check yourself. You need to really check yourself and examine yourself and to see are you really in this truth? Are you really in this truth to build your nation? Or are you really in this truth just to be damn selfish? Hiding your wisdom makes you really, really selfish, man. It makes you really selfish. Hey, Solomon had wisdom. He didn't hide his wisdom, man. Yahushua had wisdom from the Lord himself, from Yahweh himself. But he spoke, right? Let's get that. Let's get John chapter 12. John chapter 12, right? In verse number let's get verse number 49, right? For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. So the Lord gave commandment to Yahushua of what he should say and what he should speak, right? And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Yahushua knew the message from the Lord was life everlasting. It was instructions on how to get eternal life. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father sent unto me, so I speak, man. The Yahushua didn't decide, the Lord saying that's me. Hold on, I'm finna tuck that away. I ain't finna really tell nobody. No, man. Everything that the Lord Yahweh spoke to Yahushua spoke it to us, man. That's how we have to be in this truth. We have to get that wisdom, knowledge, or understanding from Yahushua, right? And speak it down from our kids to our kids, man. We have to speak that wisdom to our next brother and the brother that's next. And for our sisters, you have to speak to your sister and the next sister after that. Don't be scared to speak to your sister with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, man. These scriptures is what helps our people get eternal life. Why would you hide wisdom from them? Why would you hide something, a key that gives your people eternal life? Why do that? You got to ask yourself that, because if you're doing that, you're selfish, and it's not like you're going to be the only person in the kingdom. There's 12 gates. There's 12 gates with names of the 12 tribes of Israel. There's not only one name on that gate that says Danyala. It's not like that, man. Right? There's not only one name on that gate that says Judah. There's only one gate there. And only I could walk into it. That's foolishness, man. This wisdom has to be passed down to everybody else so that they can walk through their gate as well, so that they can walk into eternal life. This is called wisdom. This is called nation building, man. Nation building means that you cannot be selfish. You just cannot only think about yourself. If the Most High God has given you wisdom, it's most likely a lot of the times for you to pass it down to the next person. The Lord brought you into this truth to bring somebody else into this truth. The Lord brought you into this truth to see you and your people in a better estate. It's not to just only see you in a better estate. For brothers, you want to see your family there, man. You got to teach your rib. You got to teach your children. For sisters, you got to teach the next sister. You have duties as well. For all you sisters, y'all should be knowing about Titus, the 2nd chapter. Y'all should know that y'all have to teach y'all children, man. You have to teach the other sister as well. We all have duties in this truth, and we must go by those rules. We must go by what the Lord wants us to go by. And that's being confident in our speech. That's us not hiding our wisdom from the next person, man. That next person needs that wisdom. It's either gonna, because a lot of people might be stressful. They might be suicidal, man. But your words can get them out of that mindset. This is what we need in Israel. We need exhortation. We need wisdom. We need knowledge and understanding. Most of all, we need Yahweh Bashem El Shai. We would know nothing about Yahweh Bashem El Shai if our forefathers was gonna be like, I'm not finna tell them. I ain't finna say nothing. I'm gonna keep it to myself. We wouldn't know nothing, right? If Yahweh Shai didn't go from city to city, state to state, making miracles and preaching the words of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. A lot of y'all would not be in the truth if your favorite teacher was selfish and didn't want to bring any wisdom out about Yahweh Bashem El Shai, about you being an Israelite. You would still be nigga man and nigga almighty supreme woman in the world. So don't come into this truth after finding out you're an Israelite and be selfish and be like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna do it. Nah, they don't need to know that. Yes, they do, man. Don't be selfish. Right? Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Chapter 6. Get that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, in verse number 22. I'm gonna start at verse number 20. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore. As for wisdom, what is she, and how she came up? I will tell you and will not hide mysteries from you, man. So Solomon's telling you, man, I'm not going to hide wisdom from you. I'm going to tell you what wisdom is and how she came up to be and how you can even gain wisdom. Because what comes with wisdom, right? Thrones, a kingdom, riches, wealth, all of these things, everlasting life. This is what comes with wisdom. And Solomon told you, I will not hide mysteries from you. I'm not going to hide wisdom from you. I'm not going to hide anything from you. Because this is Solomon caring about his people. He was a king over Israel. He was one of the kings, man. A king is going to care about his nation. A king is going to care about his people and the betterment of his people. So do you. We're a nation full of priests, full of kings. Let's read on. But we'll seek her out from the beginning of her nativity and bring knowledge of her into light. It will not pass over the truth. He said he was going to bring knowledge of her into the light. You have to do the same thing. You have to bring knowledge of her into the light as well. You must know what wisdom is. You must know how to get wisdom. You must know how wisdom came up to be. So that what? You could bring knowledge of her into the light, man. You bring her into the light. You make her known unto your people. This is what you have to do, man. This is very important. And what did he say? Will not pass and will not pass over the truth. He ain't going to pass over the truth. You shouldn't pass over the truth. Everything that you speak should be for edification. Every single thing. This is what you have to do. Verse number 23, neither will I go without, Salakia, neither will I go with consuming envy. For such a man shall have no fellowship with wisdom. You can't be jealous. You can't have that consuming envy, man. Even though, Solomon was the man that he was, right? He said, neither will I go with consuming envy. Why? Because even we're supposed to do better than our forefathers. Even in a way, Solomon knew that there was going to be somebody greater than him. And even he wasn't going to have that consuming envy, even though he knew everything. He had much wisdom. He had more wisdom than any other man, other than Yahushua. But even he said, neither will I go with consuming envy. So if another brother has wisdom and he's trying to give it to you, don't be jealous that he has it. You could get that wisdom too. But you just have to put in that work. You have to put in that consistency. You got to put in that diligence in order to gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, for such a man shall have no fellowship with wisdom. You're going to have no fellowship with wisdom being envious. You're going to have no fellowship with wisdom being jealous of the next man, of what he has and what he possesses. You have a portion too, just like I was teaching in the last MAPOGO Monday. Reading on, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. That's what we are. We're like an armory of the world, of the nation of Israel, with wisdom. With wisdom, man. Then I believe in Wisdom of Solomon, the fifth, not Wisdom of Solomon, Deuteronomy, the fifth or fourth chapter. It roughly paraphrasing that when the nations look at us, they see us as a wise and understanding people. But that's when we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So the multitude of wise is the welfare of the world, man. We're an armory to our nation when being wise. It's wise for you not to hide your wisdom. It's wise for you to be confident enough to speak out with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Reading on. And a wise king is the upholding of the people. You got to uphold your people. If your people need help, right, you need to uphold them. Right? If your people need wisdom, you need to tell them. If your people needs counsel or advice, you need to be that person to give it to them, especially if you know and you have the blueprint to get your people through it, man. Don't be selfish. Do not hold back or hide your wisdom. Verse number 25, right? It says, receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good. Receive that instruction. Receive that instruction, and it'll do you some good, man. It will do you some good. Right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, last precept. Matthew chapter 5, right? In verse I'm gonna start at verse number 13. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good. It is therefore thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. A lot of you have so much wisdom and y'all don't speak out, right? But a lot of y'all have wisdom, right? And it's actually disgusting that you do not speak out, right? Because you're exactly what Yahushua was speaking about. You're a city that is set on a hill, cannot be hid. You can't hide. You can't. It's like a big person trying to hide behind a skinny tree. That just don't work out, man. That's just silly, right? You're the light of the world. You got to show your light, man. Right? Reading on, it says, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel. That's facts. That's a fact. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel. You don't light your candle and be like, time to go to sleep. Let's put this candle underneath the blanket. No, man. You might have one candle, you ain't trying to show it to everybody else. So now you try to put it right in the dirt. You just trying to hide it. Nobody does that, man. So why are you trying to hide your wisdom? That's not a popular thing to do. That's not a godly thing to do, a holy thing to do. That's a foolish thing to do, to hide your wisdom. It said, but Yahushua said, right? But on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. It's put upon a candlestick, and what is given light unto all that are in the house. Now, guess what? This is really a cut, right? Because everybody is not in your house, right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is for Israel first. Israel is in the house. If you're going to light a candle in the house of God, right, the children of Israel, right, are going to be in that house. The Moabites not going to be in that house. The Edomites not going to be in that house. The Ammonites not going to be in that house. The Canaanites not going to be in that house, right? The Amalekites not going to be in that house. The children of Israel are going to be in that house. So they have to be shown this light, man. This is what has to be shown. That wisdom has to be shown to your people, man. So it's time to get off that lazy horse and get to teaching. Get to talking. Put out that wisdom to your people and for your people. Because the times we're living in, you're going to eventually have to do it. You're literally going to have to do it. Right? It says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. You're doing a service to your Lord. You're doing a service for your Lord. Because you're giving out wisdom to the next person so that they can give out wisdom as well. And both of y'all are doing what? Glorifying the Most High God, which is in heaven. You have to let your light so shine before man. This is mandatory. I'm not asking you, right? I'm telling you. Yahushua is telling you. Paul is telling you. The Lord is telling you to let your light shine. The Lord is telling you, don't hide your wisdom. Don't hide the wisdom, because that wisdom is from the Lord. That wisdom is the Lord. Right? Let's get Isaiah chapter 33. Right? This is wisdom of Salaki. This Isaiah chapter 33 and verse number 6. Right? Verse number 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right? Wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times, man, and the strength of salvation. So don't be that person to just want it all for yourself, man. You should want salvation for your people. You should want knowledge for your people. You should want stability for your people. So what do you have to do? You have to give them wisdom. Right? And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that concludes MAPOGO Monday. Shalom. Kwame Shalom.